What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. It is Monday night. Week 3 is already done. Like we're almost like a fourth of the way done with the fantasy season. I can't believe it already. But we're here,
Four
man.
games in.
It's crazy. Yeah, we're going on to week 4. We're turning the page. We're here for the Overreaction show. We're going to get into some waiver wires here tonight. For those of you who don't know, my name's Anthony, aka Rasta, and this is Get Right Fantasy Network. And this guy over here to the other side of me, this is Frank. What's up, Frank? Frank the Champ, Fishing Frank,
What's up?
as
What's
you
up?
guys know him. How's it going, man?
Good. How you guys doing today? We had a good game. I just wanted to say shout out to Mike, our own, classic Mike. How about them Cowboys, huh?
How about
I know,
them Cowboys?
I know he was at the game and all. I hate to, I just want to give one out to him. You know what I mean?
There it
But
is.
I hope he enjoyed the game
You're not.
regardless, even though he got the L.
Yeah, serving up L's, but it's a W still because you were there. So what's up to everybody here in the chat? Shout out to them boys getting that W tonight. Shout out to Jonathan. What up? What up? You're saying he's feeling like his roster is the fantasy embodiment of the Buffalo Bills with all these injuries. So it's rough out there, man, for some people.
Yeah.
What's up, Squidward? So this is this is what we're here for, man. We're here to overreact. We're here to either celebrate or cry together. Whatever you need to do, come in here on Mondays, man. Get it off your chest. This is the place to do it. We want to know, did you lose by like 0.12, which I think we had a 0.12 win in our home league, which is pretty incredible. So shout out to Neanderthal pulling off the W by 0.12. So if you had one of those this week, we want to hear about it, man. Let us know any crazy finishes like that in your league. So big shout out to Ron. What's up, Ron? He's at least he got in here, man. He's up late. Us West Coasters out here, Frank and I. It's already what 9, 10, 11
9:15.
midnight over there. It's already
Yeah, good
midnight
looking
over
out.
there on the East Coast and whatever there. If you're in Central, I know he's in Philly, or I think he's in Philly. I'm not sure exactly where he is, but shout out to Ron. He's not sure how long he'll be able to be up. So there it is. We have Fish is Fishing. In here, we got to get you guys together.
He's
We got
new.
Fish and Frank. We're actually in a podcast league with him. I think he's in one of the listener leagues as well. So shout out to him and shout out to his podcast. But obviously likes fishing just like you. So maybe you guys need to get in each other's DMs a little bit.
Right.
Jonathan Smith says he lost by 2.1. Shouts out to his man Stafford for the 0 tutties. And we're definitely get on into that today. So yeah, man, it was a crazy week for football, man. One of my highlights was, as you guys probably saw in the thumbnail, the Engelman Kringleberry, Jamal Williams, doing the dance, getting the pelvic thrust in there, getting flagged for it, just like McCringleberry. So shout out to that. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, the
I
fantasy
did not see
pitch,
that
there
dance,
it
but I'm
is.
gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look it up, man. He got it in there, had a big day. Jamal Williams, 2 touchdowns. We'll definitely talk about him tonight. So shout out to that there. He just says he doesn't have that fantasy fish account on his phone. So we appreciate it, man. We're just for being out here, man.
Yeah.
For those of you who are out here,
Thanks for
man,
hanging
make
out.
sure exactly hit that like and subscribe button as you guys see down here on the kind of scrolling marquee, if you will. We're doing our giveaway, man. At 600 subscribers, we're doing a Gabe Davis signed jersey giveaway, man. An autograph. It's verified. It's out there. So
It's
tell your
legit.
friends, maybe if they're just kind of getting new to fantasy football, have them come check us out. We understand if you don't want to tell the people you're in a league with, about your source and where you come to, let all your secrets out. It's a tough, it's a tough world to
It's
grow in
tough.
here. It's tough, man. But so we're doing this, man. We got some more milestones to hit, but we do appreciate the support as we creep here to 500 subscribers. So that's pretty cool, man. I think we're teetering at about 495, give or take. So it's a lot of fun, man. Let someone
I
get
do
in there
gotta
and at
say,
least get
man,
that
I used to be
500.
one of them guys. I would not share my sources. No, that was like a no. I was like, what are you talking about? That's what I'm using to win over here. Why would I tell you? But honestly, it just makes everybody better. And if you're not playing against somebody who's that competitive and you're just rolling them over every year, what fun is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You want to have some like close games
step
like
up
we're
your
having,
game.
and like even Dustin, had a rough week and whatnot, throwing up his game up in the chat here. And so I mean, it happens to everybody. You can't be all winners. I'm on a losing streak right now, but I'm winning streak in other games, so it's fine. You know what I mean? Like it all bounces out within your leagues. You just gotta. I just have been unfortunate not getting the right guys in. They're blowing up on my bench basically. I hate that. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
There it is. Ron's agreeing with you. And just for the record, he is 5 minutes from PA, so I was close to that. Big Eagles
yeah.
fan in the house. And he says he shares his sources with everyone. So we appreciate that, Ron. Go hit that subscribe button on a couple other people's phones, man. We appreciate that. When you're out and about, just ask them for their phone real quick. Search Get Right
Oh, I do
Fantasy
that all the
Network on YouTube.
I
Hit
just
that subscribe button for us.
no,
Turn on all the notifications so they can be like, "Who is this? Who are these
yeah.
guys?" All right, man. So with that said, man,
Skateboard one. I was about to pick up Sterling Shepard until he got hurt.
yeah, perfect segue. That's what I was gonna say, man. Let's talk about this game real quick. We had the Dallas Cowboys, I believe 26, New York Giants. What'd they end up with?
13.
13, something like that. I was prepping here for the show, so I was kind of in and out at the end. I saw they had a chance to kind of take it. Giants were actually favored by 1 in this one. Only expected a 38.5 point over under. So
Oh, it was 16. I'm sorry. It was 16. I had to look.
oh, there you go, 16. Okay. So yeah, so 26-16,
23-16.
23-16. Hey, we're all
I
messed
got you
up,
now.
man. There
I'll
you
put it
go.
on the show notes right now.
Perfect. Yeah, help me out.
Oh,
And
shoot, where's the typing over there? I'll get it. I'll
the
get it straight.
perfect. The big thing is in this one anyway, regardless of what the score was, Cowboys get the W, as we said. Sterling Shepard goes down to the non-contact injury. Man, it didn't really look good at all. He looked like he was in some serious pain. So I don't know if like the kneecap just pulled off or like that patella tendon or what the deal is. But yeah, that looked terrible. Um, and what else do you take away from this game,
Well,
Frank?
what I took away was they were one of the only other undefeated teams that were going
Giants were.
into this day here, because I think we only have the Miami Dolphins and the Eagles left, right?
Yep.
So we just took down the other undefeated team, and I took away from it is that CeeDee Lamb was looking really good with Cooper Rush. That's his first touchdown of the year, but he did have a big miss. I'm sure everybody's seen it. And it was like at least a 40-yarder that he just, he should have caught. And he had another drop somewhere later on in the game. So hopefully that kind of straightens, because they're hitting him in his hands. He just needs to start catching these things, because Cooper Rush is being accurate and getting it to him. And that's what I took away from the game, is that a lot less worrisome of like, because Cooper Rush is in instead of having Dak. You know what I mean? So do you want to keep starting him? I'm starting him. I started him. I got my 14th and change from him, so I was happy with that. And the tight end that was replacing Dalton Schultz, I forgot his name. I was really bad about that, because I was.
I thought I was going to be the rookie Ferguson, but it was the other guy.
The other guy, Henderson, I think his name is, and he looked good.
Yeah, Peyton Hendershot.
Hendershot, is that what it is?
Yeah, 3 for 43 yards. So had a long of 29 though, the longest play from scrimmage.
Yeah. So he, that looked good. So other than that, yeah, moving on.
Yeah. My quick takeaway on this is we had a Tony Pollard sighting. Shout out to Mike, man, in our keeper league. He needed like 4.5 from Tony Pollard, and instead got 13 carries for 105 yards, I believe, in a touchdown, right? So not a bad night at the office. No, Zeke got the touchdown. He just had the 13 for 105. So, not a bad day in the office. Even if you take away that 46-yard run, on those 12 carries, I think it was like 58 yards is what it comes to, something like that, 54. Still a 4.9 yard average. So basically, he and Zeke had the same YPC at 4.9. So pretty even split, Zeke with 15 and Tony with 13. And, I would expect this kind of, split moving forward. So,
yeah, and
it's
it's
to
all
kind of
about,
fire
like,
up Pollard in your flex.
They did give Zeke the goal line touch or whatnot. But I guarantee you, if he missed or whatnot, they would have probably took Pollard in there and gave him a shot possibly or whatever. So I agree with Anthony. It's going to be 50-50 going forward. And you take your luck with what you got, because he actually is being more efficient with the touches that he does have. Unfortunately, he didn't get the touchdown tonight, but he is getting more yardage just based on the touches that he does get. So I'd start Pollard as a low end RB2. You know what I mean? You got to go with it, right?
Absolutely. And no Gallup tonight. We got teased. There was a, earlier in the week, I think Thursday or Friday, they said, oh, he might get his first action, and they shut him down right away this morning, maybe next week. So keep an eye on Gallup. We'll talk about him later in the show on my keep an eye on these guys kind of section. So a little tease there. We'll get to that later in the show. So perfect segue here. It's almost like you're reading my show notes. Emil, shout out. What's up, man? Says, good evening, fellas. Good evening to you. Gerald Everett or Tyler Conklin rest the season. So we saw the New York Jets. I'll give you some time to kind of think about this, Frank.
I was just looking up my stats. I already had a number for Tyler Conklin as a pickup for the week or whatnot.
Well, let me set it up for you. Hold on. Let me set it up. I was trying to set it up. That's why I said, let me give you time to put it all together. I got the New York Jets at 12. We had the Cincinnati Bengals at 27. Joe Mixon got hurt in this game, kind of nicked up his ankle a little bit. P. Ryan got the work after that. We have, Zach Wilson coming back potentially. They're going to know here soon. Maybe he gets back this week. Maybe he's out another week or two. So when you're thinking rest of the season, Gerald Everett or Tyler Conklin, what are your thoughts here on these two guys?
Just to play on the safe side, I would take Gerald Everett because of the situation he's already been in. And you know what you're getting over there in the Chargers and Justin Herbert. I mean, that dude's playing hurt. And, he took the shot and ended up playing. And they said that he didn't re-aggravate anything. So at this point, I would take Everett. However, I mean, Conklin looks good. But that's the unknown here coming up. Like you mentioned, they're going to have a quarterback change here pretty soon. Going from Flacco back over to, what's his name again? Wilson.
Yeah, like so, boys are saying here.
Yeah, so it's just I would stick to Everett. Conklin's still unknown.
All right. We have
with that said, I should have mentioned Conklin's stats were eight targets, 8 catches, 84 yards in the day, and he's only 21% owned on Yahoo, 11% on ESPN. So he should be widely available for most people. So if you want to finish off with that, sorry about that.
Absolutely. No, that's what we're here for, man. I love it. Bringing the heat. So we got another question here from Stephen Joe. Appreciate it. Appreciate the subscribe. Just so you guys know, if you don't see your kind of chat coming up or your question in the chat, you do have to hit that subscribe button for us. It's kind of how we filter out those bots. If you don't like what we say or check us out, feel free to unsubscribe after. But hey, we'll get to your question here and hopefully earn that subscribe for you. So make sure you hit that for us. And if you're already subscribed, hit that like button. It's just as good. So Stephen Joe here saying, what's up, fellas? Cooks and Edmonds for Jacobs and Burks, half PPR. So we do normally kind of get into trades on our Wednesday show. That's when we do roster management. But just real quick here off the top of the head, Cooks, who didn't really show out that well this week, and Edmonds for Jacobs and the up-and-coming Burks.
But he got hurt. Cooks got a shoulder injury.
I assume this is Brandon Cooks.
Oh, okay. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that makes the most sense for me.
Okay. Brandon Cooks and Jacobs Edmonds.
Because it's Dalvin Cook and Brandon Cooks.
Okay. Yeah. This is Josh Jacobs then we're talking? Just to be sure.
Josh Jacobs.
And then Traylon Burks with Chase Edmonds.
If it's Brandon Jacobs, I'd say take it. Take the Brandon Jacobs side if he's out of retirement. Nah. So who you taking? I'll answer real quick. Give me the Brandon Cooks and Chase Edmonds side. I actually have that combination in a couple different leagues. I'm okay with it. Edmonds isn't looking great, but he's one of those hero RB2 type guys. We do have a lot of injuries that we're going to get into here, where a lot of these backup guys could potentially start paying off here soon. When these RBs start falling. So for now, I'd take the Brandon Cooks and Edmonds side.
I would agree. I like Traylon Burks, but Jacobs is not attracting me. He's like that's the downside I think on, and that's why you'll probably take the Cooks Edmonds side over Burks, right? Because I think Burks is doing pretty good. He's hot, but Jacobs is not. So and that's a worry. Unless they do something over there in Vegas, I would stick to the Cooks Edmonds side as well.
Yeah, and so speaking of one of those handcuffs, kind of the man of the week, Basically, the number one overall fantasy player, non-quarterback, Khalil Herbert, in this Houston game goes for 157 and 2 touchdowns, in replacement for David Montgomery. Goes down, gets nicked up. They're saying it's like an ankle and a knee, but they're saying it's not too serious. Apparently, they're saying it is day to day. He could potentially still play this Sunday's game against the Giants. But if you are a Demont owner, go grab Herbert. I think he's definite must add this week. He's right up there, as we've seen, with guys like Madison, Tony Pollard, guys that we know if their number one were to go down, they're almost more viable than when the two of them are there,
Yeah.
because they're getting all the carries because they're going to put the talent on the field. So, just something to think about there. He
He's
is
49% owned on Yahoo,
yep,
25%
48
on
on
ESPN.
and 48 on sleepers. So
Yeah. So he should possibly be available. A lot of people hanked up him already. I was trying to pick him up, but I even mentioned him a couple weeks ago. I was like, this is a guy to have.
yeah,
I think that hopefully he squeezes out a role and then they actually do a 50-50 over there and he'll benefit and get more playing time, because right now it was Montgomery's show. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't getting nothing
well, they
until
was kind of
it
split
went
week
down.
one, and they were kind of nervous. Week two bounced back. He
It's
got
week
the
two, but
clear, yeah,
Montgomery
got
did
the
really
clear
good on
share.
week two. So
Yeah,
yeah,
got the clear workload after that whole crazy rain game, and then comes back. This week seemed to have the lock on it, and then of course gets hurt, and
then it gets hurt.
uh,
Yeah, that's what
Herbert
I was saying, because like
impressed.
you're saying, yeah, it was like a split because of the rain game. I think they were just using a lot of running backs. You know what I mean? Because it was crazy. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, yeah, if Montgomery misses any amount of time, that's definitely a good guy to have, and he puts up his real good numbers: 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, shoot, that's nice. You definitely want to have that guy.
absolutely. So yeah, I think he's on of course a lot. Oh yeah, 2 catches too in the only 12 yards. But they will throw him the ball as well. Um, so yeah,
It's 2 for
definitely
12.
a guy to own. Probably one of my more favorite, pickups. A lot of the places, of course, he's already on people's rosters. Um, but again, less than 50% owned. So good chance he's out there. Or I guess about the same amount of chance he's out there or he's not, right? Almost a
Yeah,
50-50.
almost
All
there.
right. So we'll move on. I digress. So next thing we have here, kind of on the injury side of things, like we kind of mentioned there with Cooks, we have Dalvin Cook. His injury is a shoulder dislocation. They're saying it's a sublex, and it's not something that's new to him. He did have this injury basically like since college. Wore a harness, last year. He when he hurt it, he missed, I think, one game. Came back. Everyone was all worried about playing him. After Alexander Madison had a huge game and came back, they gave him the full workload, of course, under Zimmer, and kind of had one of his career games after that. I don't have the full numbers, but I do remember that. And as far as this goes, they're saying if he just throws that harness on, apparently he's going to be fine and ready to go this week. But of course, it is something to look at. I'm sure Alexander Madison is, um, you know, he was drafted actually pretty high in most drafts. If he did happen to hit the wire, make sure you go grab him up. I didn't even look up his roster percentage. I assumed it was out of our ranges, but if you want to get on that, Frank, you can.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually had it written down here, but I'll get it to you in 2 seconds.
okay, no worries. And so as far as this game goes, Minnesota did pull out the win, 28-24 over Detroit. On that Detroit side, the big injury news here is Deandre Swift. He also suffered a shoulder sprain
Yeah,
issue, and interestingly, he's not going to be able to play on it. They said he's going to be out at least 2 weeks, which would put him out weeks 4 and 5 through their week 6 bye. So he wouldn't be back until week 7. So again, like we mentioned at the top of the show, make sure you're grabbing Jamal Williams. He's out there in a lot of leagues. I think he's in that like 70 percentile. So I don't think he quite
yeah.
makes it,
He's
but definitely enough.
60% Yahoo, 44% ESPN, and back to Alexander Madison. He's at 55% Yahoo, 37% ESPN.
Okay.
I don't have the sleeper ones.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I got 60% on sleeper for Jamal Williams. So, again, that's not actually that bad. He's under that 65% threshold that we try to stay under. So yeah, make sure you go grab him. You're going to get at least 2 good weeks. We've seen he's been playable even, since he's vulturing those touchdowns. He's even playable with Swift in the lineup, and who knows if this is going to be a lingering issue all year. So he's someone I actually wouldn't mind. If you're really
Just
desperate at
rostering,
running
right?
back, I mean, you could, I wouldn't mind kind of spending maybe 25, 30% of your fab to get this guy. Assuming it's $100 budget if you still happen to have that. Um, this is just the kind of guy you want to have already on your bench. I already have him in a couple places. I actually happened to start him yesterday in a I think 1 or 2 leagues. So I was definitely happy with the result. So yeah, so we'll move on here. Definitely again between him, Madison, I think those are our big
Who would you take first? We're gonna
big
have to rank
pickups
them
this
at
week.
the end. Rank Khalil Herbert, Williams, Madison. Madison, I think, is at the bottom. What do you think?
Yeah, just because it seems like Cook's going to play,
Cook's
you're
gonna
going to
play,
get
right?
definitely 2 weeks out of Williams, which I think puts him ahead of that list because Montgomery is expected to play as well too.
They
If
expect him to
anything, he
come
may
back,
only
right?
miss 1 game.
So there you go.
But
That's
again,
where that's how I
yeah,
prioritize your guys. And if you
exactly.
could hold on to some of these guys, regardless, they're still good guys to have
Hey, this is
because
sell high time, man. Go find if you're
yeah,
the Khalil Herbert owner, go find Montgomery owner and go see if you can get yourself a
sell
receiver
a
or
piece,
something off of
yeah,
this guy. Yeah, go get one of his
exactly.
backup pieces. See what happens. So check it out. All right, man. So we'll move on here to some more injury news here. We'll go over to this Jacksonville Chargers game, which was very interesting. We had Jacksonville win 38-10 over the Chargers. Jalen Guyton suffered a torn ACL. So definitely keep your eye on Jordan Palmer, who's always, kind of been someone already. I didn't look up his roster percentages. You would have thought we were doing a waiver show where I should have this all kind of ready already. But Josh Palmer, keep an eye on him. Keenan Allen, they're saying we should get him back at practice this week, according to Brandon Staley. So, prepare to be able to throw him back in your lineups this week. And hopefully that, kind of makes a difference. No setbacks for Herbert, which is, important dealing with that rib cartilage. But the biggest thing I think, in this game is, what's going on with Eckler. So, what's the deal there, man? Only 4 carries, 5 yards. What do you think?
Well, it's you're right. What is going on over there? Um, it's tough. It's tough sledding with him. I mean, the game was there. I mean, and what really saying here is that Jacksonville is just for real. I don't know if you guys, I would definitely get some guys on there, um, on that side of the ball. And I don't even know what to say about Eckler. Honestly, it's like it's strange. You know what I mean? You're the guy last year was just killing it, and I don't know why he's just not getting any touches, just doing anything with the work he does have. So
Yeah, Sony Michelle out carried him 5 for 22 yards. Eckler only had 4 for 5 yards. And then as far as in the receiving game, I could swear that Sony Michelle seemed like he got way more targets. Oh no, Eckler still went 8 for 8 for 48. Um, in the receiving side of things, but still, just the rushing scares me. Not getting those looks, and you know, only 2 I swear, I guess the 2 targets Sony Michelle had, I must have just been happened to be watching at that time, and just I swear, I think I text in our chain. Why are they even throwing the ball to Sony Michelle? Like, why isn't Eckler even in on that play if he's even an option on a route? So, anyway, interesting game there. We'll see if they can right the ship. I mean, if you can sell Eckler and still get some value out of him, if you're panicking, just make sure you get value out of it. Personally, he's someone that I'd probably try to like to buy low on. On the other end of that, I do feel duped trading him for Cordero Patterson in our home league. Patterson, went off again,
yeah, he's doing good.
147 yards, 17 carries. Did find the end zone. So definitely wish I had Patterson these last 2 weeks over Eckler. I'll tell you that, especially in a non PPR league. So uh, that was interesting. So we'll move on here, man. Next order of business, we have the Patriots quarterback Mac Jones
He went
dealing with
down, right?
this, severe high ankle sprain. But of course, in Patriot land, they're saying he's day to day. So you know, just
Who's the backup over there?
I have no idea. Oh, Brandon
Right.
Hoyer. I think it's Hoyer. I
Oh,
want to say
okay.
it's Hoyer. But yeah, I mean, just Mac Jones literally said he's taking his ankle injury day to day, make sure everything's good. Injury questions should be directed to Bill Belichick's. I mean,
Wow.
this is the most Patriot thing ever.
Right. That's lock it down, dude.
I mean, it's just it's how it is. They're saying he won't need surgery, I guess, which is good. But again, they're just saying day to day.
Yeah, you're right.
Obviously,
It's
high
Brian Hoyer.
ankles. Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks. Oh, so it is Hoyer. Yeah, so 4 to 6 weeks typically for a high ankle. So just keep your keep your eyes out on that. I'm pretty much fading all Patriots passing game options. Like at this point, Hunter Henry, Jacoby Myers, Aguilar, Parker, and Parker actually looked kind of good last week. But if he's out, I mean, I have to see what's going on with Hoyer first. I think I'm
Ramondre
okay with
Stevenson
maybe.
did all right though, man. He got
Yeah, I was
12,
gonna say I'm okay with him
12 rushes,
and
73
Harris.
yards, 1 touchdown. So do you think it's gonna be him or his counterpart going forward here? Let's get the guy's name off.
Who?
Do you know what I'm talking about? Damian Harris.
Oh, Harris and Stevenson.
Because
Yeah,
you know how it is. You know what I mean? Like they're always like sharing carries over there in New England. It's always like a running back by committee. But I do like Ramondre Stevenson. He's been doing all right. He's getting his share of touches over there. So I think it's you're going to be basically hoping for a touchdown on one of the weekends and see which guy gets it, if not both.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I didn't really draft Patriots in the first place, so I'm not really worrying too bad myself.
Yeah, I
So
usually steer away so I don't have to worry about it myself
just even
as
worry about
well.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just
So
try to
they're
stay away.
just people I'm not touching. All right. So another big news today. Obviously, Mike Evans is coming back. So Brady is getting one of his pieces back. They lose to Aaron Rodgers and the fellas 14-12. So Evans is back from that suspension. They think they'll get Julio back. Apparently he was close to playing, but they just decided to hold him out one more week, dealing with that knee. Still no word on Chris Godwin. He may be out another week or two. They're not going to rush him back, of course, and risk a re-injury there. But for that one little screen pass or whatever it was when he caught, he did look really good. So if he can get past this hamstring, hopefully he can get back and get some benefit from Brady, man. So what are your feelings here with Brady, man? Is he at the point where you're benching him? I mean, is there someone you would start over him? Maybe
I
like a
have Brady, and I got
Trevor
to tell
Lawrence,
you, I
or
am
what's going on?
worried, but I'm just holding steady with my ship. That's what I'm doing.
He has none of his
Because
receivers, man. He's down all
yeah,
three of
that's
them.
why he had some terrible games, but now some guys are coming back. Mike Evans will be a big help. You know what I mean? And if Julio can participate some, that'd be great. And then we got Godwin hopefully coming back after that. And then the ship's righted and everything's okay in Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? Like you can't just go with your third stringers and hope that you do well and win games and you have awesome stats for fantasy. It just doesn't work out that way. So I'm just holding pat, man. Unless I mean, I don't know. I'm considering picking up a waiver wire guy, but then I'm gonna feel bad because then you do that and then um, you just you just fall on your face because you could have just stayed with Brady and not panicked. And that's the hard thing to do here with the fantasy football is when do you have to call it. I think after this one game, um, things are going to get better. If not, bail on him. I guess at this point, I don't know.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts? Are you going to stay put? I'm trying to stay put.
Yeah, I mean, I got him in a couple super flex leagues, so I'm gonna mess around with them. I'm thankful in my one QB leagues. I went after one of the top 5 elite guys, which we found in that hero RB build. Get that elite tight end, elite quarterback, wide receivers, and that one anchor RB. And it seems to be working out for me. At least so far. Um, you know, at least in those leagues, not so much in our super flex leagues and these other leagues, but the one QB league, it works out well. I don't think I'm, messing with him now. Like for someone like Trevor Lawrence, who is coming off a nice game, 262-3, has been improving, keeping care of the ball. Only has one interception in 3 games. They're putting up points, this year, and he's putting up points. 15 in the opener, 22 and 31. Again, just depending on your scoring. But throwing for well over 200 yards in each of the games. And again, the real important part is no picks. Not too much on the ground. We do know he is dangerous. They do have that ability, but I think with the way James Robinson has been running, and of course, that threat of ETN that could explode at any play. This is a team that's just kind of fun to watch. Kind of rooting for the Jags and see how they're going. I like ETN. Trevor Lawrence, seems to be making the strides you want to see.
Trevor Lawrence is a waiver wire pickup for the week, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
As far as he's putting his number down and actually getting away from being like that rookie quarterback that that whole like, is he gonna be good or not? Like he's getting to the point where he's showing he could lead the team to a championship and start putting up his wins. Like he's a winner, dude. That dude is you know what I mean? He's not used to winning. I'm sure he's having a hard time not winning. You know what I mean? Like so. I'm looking at possibly picking him up. Maybe that's who you replace, Brady with. I did want to mention on the other side, Aaron Rodgers is, fired up and he was doing.
Yeah, I'm
Aaron
like, I'm
Rodgers
sorry,
things.
I totally switched to a different game, but I was like,
Yeah.
talking Brady replacement. But yeah.
But I just did want to mention that because I also have Aaron Rodgers, and we were scared about Aaron Rodgers in the first game, but then he straightened the ship out there. And Romeo Dubes is the other guy that I wanted to mention because he had a good breakout game, 25% owned. I know a lot of people drafted him, held him, dropped him. Now he's on there, out there. He went 8 of 8 for 73 yards and a touchdown. It was like basically his breakout game for Romeo Dubes. So definitely a waiver wire pickup for that guy there. So yeah, I think that'll cover up that rest of the game right there. Probably could go back into the games. I do like Jacksonville. I'm liking that. I'm liking what I see over there. Yeah, I'm really excited because I have some Robinson. I picked him up late compared to what other people paid for. What's his name? Help me out here. Now, you just said it, and I'm really bad with like having to recall these guys.
For who? Quarterback?
No, opposite Robinson, running back.
Oh, ETN.
Etienne, because you were mentioning him earlier, and I think we were talking about that last week about their numbers, and they're pretty close to each other, and they're splitting carries because you got 13 attempts, 45 yards, 3.5 yard average. Didn't get the touchdown, but I still like Robinson over Etienne, and I think you're getting, obviously because of his draft value where we were drafting Robinson, you're getting way more bang for your buck out of him than Etienne. So either way, both of them are owned. Definitely start them both, right?
Yeah. Etienne's shown flashes, if he can earn some more work and let alone, something were to, of course, happen to James Robinson, then there could be some good opportunities there. So I still thought I would see more, but, Robinson has definitely bounced back and, setting the mold. An expectation, kind of like Peterson did with the ACL for this Achilles here. So it's actually promising. Maybe this isn't the end of, someone's career when they have this injury. So, maybe there's a chance Tyreek Cohen, gets back after we all, saw that happen in the preseason there too when he was trying to make his comeback. So big shout out to him. So keep it going in the chat, man. I saw a couple things in here. I just want to get to here real quick. I think I saw.
There's been all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah, I know, it's just been going crazy. So.
I don't want to stop you.
No, it's good. Stephen Joe says my buddy traded Adams and Julio for Robinson and Hopkins. Speaking of James Robinson, he says I think he got robbed. Yeah, I mean he definitely sold low on Devontae Adams. We'll definitely get into him here, and of course Julio is hurt. Obviously he's feeling like he needs a running back, and then he's hoping when Hopkins gets back, which is only a few weeks from now.
I would have took the Robinson Hopkins side.
I mean, it's really not that bad if it's James Robinson. I just think
not Allen Robinson.
Yeah, yeah. If it's A-Rob, that's tough, but I assume that's James Robinson because that'd be the closest. So I don't think he got robbed. I just think he probably could have got more for Adams. But maybe that's just me. We're here in the West Coast. We got a lot of Raiders fans that are willing to pay crazy amounts for Adams this year. Yeah,
they'll get their guy.
Maybe not after these last 2 weeks. We'll get into that here too in a second. All right. So anyway, we got Jonathan Smith. Do I drop James Conner for Jamal Williams? I don't think you do that. Let me know who else you got on your bench. I don't think I'm quite there yet. Let's
I
see
wouldn't drop
Connor
Connor.
get
Yeah, he's
healthy
coming
again.
back.
Yeah, and when he's there, he really doesn't have any competition for touches.
Yeah,
We
he's the
see what
man.
he's capable of. So I do want to keep that. And of course, with Hopkins coming back, that's going to open up a lot of stuff for him as well too.
Who else you got to drop?
And Rondell Moore and stuff
Because
like
I would
that.
definitely pick
So
up Jamal Williams. So that's
yeah, definitely.
what
If
else you got?
Williams is out there, yeah, let us know who you got, and we'll eventually get through it. We're probably so behind on this. So anyway,
I'm not even sure where you're at in the chats.
it's okay. We got Ron holding it down in here for us, so that's good. We got We're in here. Should I drop Alan Lazard to pick up Devonta Smith or Romeo Dobbs? If you prefer Smith or Dobbs. We've seen now a ceiling game for Smith, and I think Hurts is just basically on fire right now. Obviously, being connected to Dobbs, is good. I just think that defense is kind of too good to allow them to, be in there. Well, actually, they're both pretty good defenses, Eagles and Packers. So
yeah,
it's close, man. Give me Devonta Smith. He's been in the league one more year. And then the weather's not as that, big of a deal later in the season, I think, than those late home games in Green Bay. So we
They
know
like
Aaron
that shit.
Rodgers' numbers drop, though, in those times. It's proven. I've seen the stats in those late games. He could let you down there at the end. So
he is a California boy.
Unless you're Devontae Adams, though. Like Adams usually goes off, but, so there's a chance. But I think I lean Smith, especially after what I saw this weekend. That's
I would say out of all those guys, Alan Lazard, Devontae Smith is definitely the more solid pick. We've seen him; he already has a good rapport with Hurts, and they're going on the second year, getting playing together. It was just a matter of time for him to get fired up. So I think that you're going to continue to see that going forward.
Yeah, Ron says Devonta Smith and fast. Ron, hit me up, man. Hey, is that James Robinson for Devonta Smith trade closer now? Can we get that done now? I know you're the Eagles fan. You need a wide receiver. I need a running back. We're playing each other this week. Let's just make the swap, man. Send it to me. You already declined it. Just resend it. I think we're good now. You should have took it.
Now we're there.
Yeah, you should have took it. He just had him on his bench. He could have threw Devonta Smith in his lineup, but he's already starting two other better running backs. Robinson just sitting there collecting dust. I'll take him. All right. So anyway, enough of that. You guys aren't here for that. Warrior Loft here says, is it time to cut Russell Wilson? He's my bench QB. So I assume that's a one QB league. Are we cutting Russell Wilson? So let's say, would you cut Russell Wilson for Jamal Williams?
Hell yeah. We don't do that.
Okay. No, I'm just saying. So
I figured who else is he starting? I didn't need to know who else is starting, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, if you have Wilson as your second QB, I assume you have one of the top 5 guys, right? Lamar, Mahomes, Allen, someone like that, right? Hurts. You got one of those guys.
Unless you got 2 late QBs.
I would still keep him. Yeah, if not, I'd keep him just to see kind of what happens. So that's a tough one, though. I don't think I'd drop him for Jamal Williams, though.
No?
That's tough. I'd have to really be hurting at running back to drop. I'd rather trade him. I'm not for really dropping people. It just really depends on who you're going to get for them,
Yeah.
So I'd rather not drop it. I'd rather try to trade him and still get Williams. Yeah, I'd be trying to trade him right now. Even if you have to trade him a little discount, if you're willing to just drop him, sell him low, get something, package him, open up a spot, and then go get Jamal Williams, and you're good to go. All right. So anyway, we're so behind on the chat. We'll get to that. We'll forget what we're even saying. Yeah, go ahead. Bring him up. Am I going to be okay with Najee, Henry, Javonte, and James Conner as my RBs? It seems whoever 3 I start, one always disappoints. What are your thoughts on this?
Najee,
are you the one that would like to?
I would just keep rolling Najee out. The rookie that was with him. Shoot, I can't even think of his name. Jalen Warren. He's a nice stash. That dude was doing some things.
Javonte. Would you prefer to kind of package 2 these running backs and try to trade up, for someone else? Would you maybe do maybe Connor and Najee for CMC and some wide receiver? A low end.
CMC's not doing that great, but you're trying to buy low on CMC.
Not yet, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're trying to buy a little low. I mean, he did have 102 rushing yards, so he's still getting the rushing. It's just why aren't they using him in the passing game
Yeah,
in PPR? But in non-PPR, you're still scoring you points. He's still there. So I don't know. I would try to do maybe something like that.
I think Connor come
Maybe you
back
could buy
soon
low
enough,
on
and
Aaron
you'll be
Jones.
more than happy.
Yeah, maybe package two of them to try to trade up and just kind of make your decisions a little easier each week. Sometimes I like to just do that, to where you just have three just clear cut starters. Unless someone's hurt, that's the only time you're throwing that other guy in there. So you're not kind of playing that weekly carousel game, feeling like you're
Yeah,
sitting the wrong one. I'll just
yeah,
trade
literally
up so
doing
you
that.
know you're
I've done
doing
that a
the
couple
best.
times.
Yeah, maybe go buy Henry. I'd love to maybe turn Connor and maybe Javante
On the
or
Javante for Henry.
is it non? Oh no, he already has Henry. Okay. Yeah, Henry. I don't know. Yeah, that's tough. All right, so moving on. I think we hit that one enough. You got
Yeah,
any more there?
I would not panic. Basically, is what I'm telling him.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking. Like Anthony's thinking trade, I would just like hold tight. You got good guys. It's early in the season, and I know it sucks taking the L's, but these guys will pan out.
yeah. So we got Anthony, maybe Lie in the house. Did you guys talk about Deandre Swift? We did kind of talk about it a little bit in the beginning, but it looks like he is going to be out for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Maybe coming back after the week 6 bye, dealing with that shoulder sprain. So it doesn't look like they're going to rush him back. Obviously, we saw Jamal Williams kind of go off. So if you're a Swift owner, definitely spend some of your FAAB on getting Williams, unless you have somebody you could bring off your bench and start in that spot. So yeah, DeAndre Swift going to be out a couple weeks for sure. All right, so let's see. J Rob is a start now. I'm starting him over DJ Moore in the flex. I would too. So that's a good one. And any other ones you see?
I
We
seen one
got
from
Tony Clark
Neanderthal.
in here. What's up, man? Hey, let us know. Yeah, I was gonna say. So he said, "Sorry, I'm late, boys. What's up? I won this week. So did you win in your
Nice.
fantasy league or did you win in those bets? Because this dude was dropping some nice cash on
Oh yeah,
Sunday
yeah.
on the Sunday morning show. For those of you guys who didn't know, so I think he had involved. One of them was the Jets. I got to go back and check that out. But if you're in here, Tony, let us know how you did on those. Um, I know I was riding for you there, but got caught up in my own fantasy games and kind of forgot until I saw you here again. So good luck, man. I hope you won. That's awesome.
And since we were talking Wilson on that other trade earlier, you think more would benefit Wilson coming back?
Um, it's tough, man. He could either benefit him or hurt him. I mean, Moore actually had his production last year with White, if you guys remember,
Yeah,
when he came in. That's when Moore kind of went off. Once Wilson came back, he kind of fell off a little bit again. They were hoping that connection they would
and
have and
that's what
build,
Michael Carter
over
was
the
running better
summer.
too.
So, yeah, exactly. So, you know, it he was also throwing the running backs too, just like Flacco. So it's a tough one. Dobbs or Hollins? I kind of like Mac Hollins, man. I mean, he saw 10 targets, I believe, over 100 yards.
Yeah,
I believe he got the touchdown as well too.
158 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
8 8
158 and a
8 to 10.
touchdown.
8 to 10, 158. Yeah, I was gonna steal my thunder on that with reading that one off.
Yeah, there we go, man.
I was gonna
So
give it a shout out to Neanderthal because you want to mention that he is how about he's on there now. You got to keep an eye on this guy. It's the second week with good numbers.
yeah,
Um,
I had him in my lineup and pulled him like last second when I saw Jerry Judy was gonna play. I was like, all right, I'll switch him out. I don't want to play a Raider, and I should have played him. I still
I
won, but
should
it
have
was
played
okay.
him.
Oh no, I didn't win in that league. I don't
Oh
think it would
no.
have made a
Oh,
difference though. I got destroyed. It doesn't matter. Let's
so
not
Dubes
talk
or
about it.
Hollins though.
All
Dubes or
right.
Hollins though. Let's answer the question.
Yeah.
Which one did you go? Dubes or Hollins?
Oh, I'm going. I'm probably going. Dupes just to take the chance because he has a clear shot of having a chance at the number one. Holland still has Renfro when he comes back from the concussion, and of course Devontae Adams. I
And
assume they're going to
Devontae
fix
Adams.
that out. I mean,
And
they're
that's
not
why.
paying that guy like $30 million a year to give him one target for like 2 yards or whatever it was he got. So we'll get into that too.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why they stop throwing them the ball? Like
I don't know.
there's times that they just feed him. Now, and the other times they just go away. They just can't get the ball to him. The other team figured out, okay, just take him away, and that's it.
Yeah. And just real quick, I know we talked about the New England side. We didn't really talk about Lamar. Lamar's balling out. I do have him here a little bit to talk about later, so we'll definitely get to him.
Well, just mention it now. You already brought it up. Shoot.
No, man, it's called a tease, man. We got to do a good tease. We got Warrior Lofton here
Well, you
saying, "How do
teased
you
me
guys
with that
feel
whole thing.
about Damian Pierce going forward?" I think he's
I got the numbers on him. I wrote them
the
down somewhere.
online is not very, or the O line is not very good. Pierce is good flex depending on what opponent. Would you agree? So yeah, I do like Pierce. I did draft him. I think it was going to take him some time. He seems to be getting the looks now. So
Yeah. I mean, he's got good high end RB2 value. I think 20 attempts, 80 yards, and a touchdown this last game.
Yep.
And now he's getting basically clear number one touches. He did get 2 for 2 for the receiving yards, but I mean, it's not the receiving that you're looking at. We're looking at the running touches, and the 20 is, that's a good number. You know what I mean? That puts you up there as a RB1 status, I think.
Yeah, it could be. Tony says today some idiot sent him a trade proposal wanting Waddle for Michael Carter for Waddle. So yeah, I'd say hot no on that. Yeah, he said no way. And he said no, I lost the bets. Oh, that sucks, man. That's why they're bets though. That's why Vegas is Vegas. Dang it.
Huh.
All right, there's always next week. That's okay.
Right.
I was going for it too. All right, so we got Fantasy Fish shouting out 3-0 in the left out league or the left out again league. So shout out to the Get Right Fantasy. Well, it's actually the Got Left Out Fantasy League. The ones who didn't make it in the listener league. It's the alternate listener league. $50 prize. Fantasy Fish holding down 3-0. And guess what, your boy? 0-3. I gotta let the people win. I'll
You're
creep down at the
0-3
bottom.
in that league? That's
Yeah, dude, I'm getting wrecked. It's all right.
I'm
Dude, I got a lot of issues.
man. I got nothing to talk about.
Got a lot of issues going on.
Starting the wrong guys.
That's all right. In the big money leagues is where I'm winning, so that's where it matters. So
yeah,
easily. But big shout out there to the listener leagues and the Market Champions best ball leagues. So shout out to the Get Right leagues out there. If you guys are interested getting in next year, make sure you subscribe, hit that button for us, and we'll get there. And as you see, we're giving away that Gabe Davis jersey. When we hit 600 subscribers. We're almost at 500 right now. So tell your friends, help us go up and above that 500 mark. So I think we're finally kind of to there. If I missed your question, man, you guys fire it off again. Either way, we'll get to it. Just post them again. We're finally caught up. All right.
Yeah,
so wherever we left off,
a lot of chatter. Go down.
There's a lot of chatter. Keep it going, man. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So next thing here, one of the big kind of issues that happened, one of the big news that we got during the game was the whole Tua Tagovailoa situation. We all saw him
that was crazy.
Get destroyed by Matt Milano, who I have. Shout out to Matt Milano. Goes in there, just gives a nice little shove. His head clearly just bounces off the turf. He gets up, goes all wobble leg on us. Goes straight to the locker room. Everyone's saying concussion. But apparently Adam Schefter at 12:35 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know what that time it is, Eastern or whatever. Maybe that was Eastern. Maybe this was Pacific time. I don't know. Either way, but it was definitely during the game. He tweets out and says, "Oh, Tua just tweaked his back in the first quarter on a sneak and didn't miss any time. After the Matt Milano hit, his back locked up, leading to him wobbling into the locker room for a full concussion check. He's fully cleared, now back on the field." So I don't know about that, but
you don't think it was a back?
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but hey, it is what it is. That's what they said. Obviously, they have the independent doctors. I don't know what happened.
That's what I was about to say. They do have an independent doctor checking things out, and making sure it wasn't the hip problem. But it kind of pans out. I mean, if you looked at it, he did kind of like grab his back a little bit on the side when he went down. He was like, "Oh, Grampy type thing." You know what I mean? But he was wobbly. He was wobbly as wobbly. I mean, that made it look like he just got knocked out. Stuttering stepping, you know what I mean? He was like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But his back did lock up. If his back locked up, then you're obviously not walking right. You're doing the Frankenstein. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We got Warrior Locked in here saying James Conner is the season RB1. Jamal Williams is only the starter for 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. So we're definitely not, dropping Conner for Jamal Williams. We got Stranded here saying Bears backup running back Khalil Herbert is on waivers, and so is the Bengals backup, who's Samaje Perine. Which one would you stash to your bench? So for me, I'm going Khalil Herbert for sure. 10 times out of 3. Let's see. Ron says, I've seen babies bounce their heads off all sorts of stuff and be perfectly fine. So apparently it happens to adults too. He said, talking about JT, and they must have been talking about it in there. Would you trade McCaffrey for JT? McCaffrey has some tough playoff opponents. So usually that's a good thing because when they have a good run defense, like, or they're going to be behind, like they're going to throw and usually throw to McCaffrey. So like that's almost like what you want. I'm a little scared with JT. I did have JT as my number 3 running back coming into the year. I didn't think he'd be able to repeat, with what he did. But he's still, putting up good production. He's a safe pick. I personally I'm holding out for McCaffrey. Had 100 yards rushing today, which is what you want to see. I just want to see that passing game, usage increase. So, which side are you on here, McCaffrey or JT?
I'm going with McCaffrey. I got McCaffrey. I got to stick with my guy.
You're going McCaffrey
And
too, huh?
he's getting better and better as he goes along in these games. Hopefully, like as Anthony points out several times, that they need to get him more involved in the passing. Once that happens, I think CMC goes baller. He goes back to what he used to be. He's a guy that likes to run in open space like that. He's really good in it. So I would definitely expect CMC over JT. But I mean, they were 1-1 and 1-2, so you can't go too wrong with either one of them as long as they turn around their season.
Yeah. And Ron says again, look at JT's week 1 through 3 last year. And he's saying, go ahead, look it up. JT. My whole thing though is like, yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have been the RB1 if, McCaffrey and Henry and all these other guys didn't get hurt. So just keep that in mind too. So if everybody actually stayed healthy and played out their, projections, he would have been like maybe RB8, maybe RB3 or so. Again, keep in mind, JT had one of the lowest total fantasy points, RB1 finishes in like the last 3 or 5 years or something like that. So you can go ahead and look that up as well too, Ron. And I don't, Ron and I are cool just for the people who know, like we like talking mess back and forth. So he gives it to me, I give it to him. So just so you guys know, I don't treat all our viewers like that. So all love for you, Ron. But yeah. So
is that why people just love to forget that? Yeah, he's a breakable. He is a breakable, Ron.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that, and I was been worried about that, and hopefully he stays together this year.
Yeah, and we're saying things, guys. I also feel like Baker and the Panthers offense are getting better week by week. I mean, you could argue that we need to see more plays run. They're like running the least amount of plays, like in the NFL by like almost half sometimes. Like some people running like 90 plays. They're like around like 50, 60 plays. So that's a big part of it as well. And who knows, man? Maybe when Darnold gets back, they put him back in there, and Darnold knows what's up. He knows to throw it to McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, he knows what to do. I was hoping for that.
Exactly. So
like that's what Darnold in there. All he wants to do is check it down to CNC.
Exactly. So we'll see, man. And yeah, Fantasy Fish just saying injuries aren't predictable, and that's because Ron's saying, but CMC does not stay healthy. So he stayed healthy so far. More so than some of these other running backs who've already gone down. And so he is still there.
Enough, then here we are.
Not me, but that's why I go late, because guys like Sanders and CH and all these other guys were getting in round 6, 7, and 8 are paying off. Your Khalil Herbert.
Well, Sanders might be CEH at a terrible game.
And your other guys. So we'll see. All right, man. So anyway, we digress.
Smack because I took Robinson really late and I'm loving it.
Oh, see, that's good. That's what I'm talking about. That's the perfect. That's perfect kind of stuff right there. All right, so we were talking about this Miami Buffalo game, obviously with that whole Tua situation. So they do play on Thursday. Mike McDaniel, who's just a clown, with the media, which is awesome. He's just saying, he's also nursing some ankle soreness, apparently, as well as the back, but apparently not the head. But it is too early to make a statement one way or the other. If Tua will play on Thursday, he doesn't assume anything. So probably the best part and even highlight of this game was offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey going insanely mad
after the game
booth, when he's just slamming the tablet and throwing everything down. When Josh Allen just dirts the ball right there at the end for a chance to win. And so yeah, man. So doesn't get anything on it. He goes crazy. Buffalo's brought back down to earth by the 3-0 Miami Dolphins,
Miami
who are getting
Dolphins.
all the hate, in the league. So they're out trying to prove everyone. Mike McDaniel's the man. He's a big reason why we were winning last year with the Niners. It sucked
Is
to give him
Tyreek
up.
Hill really the factor there, or what?
I mean, just their speed, man. Waddle's been good. Tyreek's, been good. He's a threat.
Obviously,
I
a
want to
speed
see more out
monster.
of Edmonds, of course. We were talking about,
Yeah,
Edmonds earlier. So we'll see, man. But right now, they can win, shootout games, comebacks, and then they can win these, drag them out, knock down, fights. So, those are the things that, when you're going back looking at the season, you're like, all right, they can, it's not like they're just winning in one type of way, they can put up the points, they can go defensive battle. They still got
yeah,
Xavier Howard. They don't even have Byron Jones back. I mean, wait till they get him back. Their defense is going to be even better. So
yeah.
just keep all that in mind, man.
I'm liking that team, man. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, Miami's what's up, man. And they're in South Beach. How do you not like that? All right. So in other news and injuries here, we had both the wide receivers for the New Orleans Saints, Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry, both exit the game. They had tests earlier today, but based on the initial diagnosis, it doesn't appear that the injuries are serious. Landry is dealing with some soreness in his foot, and Thomas is dealing with a toe injury. It's not on the same foot as his previous ankle injury, so that's at least good. It's not anywhere near that ankle that kept him out for basically 2 years. Um, and speaking of Carolina and CMC and all that, we had the Panthers actually pull out a W, in Baker over this New Orleans team. So 22-14, Carolina pulls it off. Defense was playing well. You know, I mean, what do you think about this team here? I mean, about this game? I mean, anything else you want to add
I
here?
think it sucked that he
I mean,
just went
besides
down
the
like that.
DJ Moore issue, but go ahead.
I mean, the whole Thomas just toe thingy, it just came out of nowhere. Um, I know my friend Anthony was just dying over this whole situation right off the bat because it happened right before a game, I think, or something like that, right in the beginning of the game. So that was rough. You know what I mean? Um, Also, Kamara, we still worried about him. 15 yards, 15 carries, 61 yards, zero TDs. So I know people are still worried about his production and what's going on with him. And I'd say hold on. You know what I mean? Like it's better than some other guys that you're going to pick up. So hopefully the this whole offense straightens itself out. So I think it does. And once it's clicking, then you'll feel a lot better about it. Chris Olave still the standout though. 13 targets, 9 receptions, 147 yards, no touchdown. But I mean, he's the standout over there for the Saints, right? And
Yeah,
hopefully, some of you guys have him because with Thomas there and Olave and Kamara clicking, things that's a good offense right there. Their defense is not shabby either. They're doing pretty good over there in the Saints. Now the Panthers got the win; they pulled it out. Um, it's just I don't know what to say about the Panthers. It just Laviska had that one play that I think that was really long one, right? I think he had just one good long play, but like we said, we mentioned CMC. There's nothing great going on right there. We just gotta make sure that he gets his rushes and gets his touches, and 108 yards is not a bad day. We just need to get some touchdowns going, it'll be all right.
yeah. So yeah, that's I mean, pretty much, we did talk a lot about those guys. And I'm gonna mention DJ Moore down here in a second anyway, so I'll kind of save it for that. So that's kind of basically the end of the major injuries and how we're kind of feeling based on that. We'll kind of get into some of the guys we felt stand out. Guys we kind of want to see some more from. And then we'll just kind of recap our waiver guys here that we've mentioned throughout the show and we'll get out of here. So we appreciate you guys hanging out here with us. We'll start to wrap this thing up. So before we do,
Yeah,
we want you guys to remember to check out our affiliates here on Get Right Fantasy Network. Make sure you check out the Check Down podcast with Cody, Shirtless Pat, and the fellas. They're on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You can find them on the Check Down podcast on YouTube. Their link is in our description there. So go hit a sub for them if you don't mind for me help support our affiliate channel there. And we got Colin over at WAGMI Fantasy, man. WAGMI. We're all gonna make it. Fantasy.com. You can also follow him on Twitter at WAGMI Fantasy. He has great articles, great website. A lot of information, his rankings, projections that he does himself, and a great newsletter that he puts out weekly. So go check it up. Go sign up for it. It's free to do. And speaking of websites, we'll just get into this real quick here. Underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code GetRight. They are doing that best ball resurrection right now. It's a $10 entry. You'll be drafting a team that'll run from week 6 through 17. First place is $100,000. So get in there, check that out. And again, when you do go on there and sign up, if it's your first time, use that promo code GetRight because they will do a $100 deposit match or 100% deposit match up to $100. And not only do they have the best ball drafts that you can do, they also have their pick'ems. They even now have the insurance, so you can do like over up unders. You can do rivalry picks, like who's going to score the most fantasy points or have the most receiving yards. Player versus player. So it is a lot of fun, and you can win 20 times your bet. So go check all that out. Again,
Yeah.
promo code GetRight. All right.
Nice.
So
Did
with
we
that,
go over the Browns and Steelers game?
we did on Friday, so you weren't here for it, but we went over that on Friday. So we usually don't cover the Thursday night game on this one.
So you guys covered no Joku then. For sure.
I have him for this next section here in my tight end. So yeah, we'll mention that here. All right, or you can either way. All right, so let's get into it, man. So again, we're just going to kind of go through by position here. Just kind of name quickly a couple standout guys and kind of a couple duds. I mean, technically it's kind of like in studs and duds type little segment, but we'll try to find a fancy get right name for it if you guys can think of one that goes with the show here. Maybe incorporate roll your sleeves up or something like that. Let us know. All right, so quarterback position. Who do you want to highlight at the quarterback position this week quickly?
Well, Trevor Lawrence, man. I thought.
Hey, there you go.
He had a standout week, man. 28 attempts, 28 of 39 attempts, 262 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's nice. I mean, you know what I mean? That's what you expected from a guy like that, and I think he
first round pick.
Definitely a waiver wire pickup now. I think he's getting there. You know what I mean? Like I think he's getting more trustworthy where you get those numbers, and he might be somebody that you want to start for the week, the season or whatnot.
Especially bye weeks when they start coming.
And Jamison Williams is also still not owned that much, although we were talking about that whole knocking the head and everything else. But as long as he's playing, dude, he gets his numbers up, and hopefully he could be a low type guy.
All right. So my guys, I'm just going to take the low hanging fruit and just kind of mention the duo of Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, just kind of blowing fantasy out of the water right now. We had Lamar for 5 total touchdowns. He threw for 218 and 4 touchdowns. And had 11 carries for 107 yards and another rushing touchdown. So again, 5 total touchdowns this week. And that's 2 straight weeks with over 100 yards rushing. So not only can he throw for over 300, 400 yards, he's running for over 100 yards as well. This guy's just all kinds of offense. You definitely want, Mark Andrews. You're definitely happy with his production there. And then, of course, on the Hurt side of things, he's throwing for 340 and 3 touchdowns this week, only going, 9 carries for 20 yards, saying I can do the production through the air as well, too. After coming off, I think 17 carry, 90 rushing yard game last week. So, he can't throw it. He'll put 340 and 3 on you. Like he's out there like Mahomes or something. So this kid's fun to watch, man. I have a lot of shares of Hurts this year somehow. And I'm very happy to have it. So, definitely a nice game. Philly, of course, won their game 24-8. Devonta Smith, went crazy there as well too. So definitely keep an eye on this Philly team, man. Yeah, they look like the team to beat. Shout out to Ron, man. Shout out to Ron. Yeah. So yeah. All right. And so as far as some duds, I guess you would say underperformers at the quarterback position. Who you got?
Now you put me on the spot and I hadn't thought about it.
All right. Well, while you're thinking, I'll throw one out there as the one I kind of mentioned pre-show. Matt Stafford, man, coming out here. Still getting the W. Rams 20, Arizona 12. But Stafford goes only 18 completions for 249 yards and no touchdowns. Nothing on the ground either for him. So, or I didn't really look. Maybe he had a little bit of rushing, but for the most part, just kind of did everyone bad. Under 10 points, I believe. I think he had like 9 points something. Um, you know, uh, fantasy points, and to me, that's pretty bad showing. That's like 2 out of 3 weeks, or I think all 3 weeks. He's been pretty terrible. And interesting thing, Cooper Kupp's first time he's been held like under 60 something yards, and on like 18 straight games or something insane like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he has been held, it's always been Arizona. So maybe you sit Cooper Kupp when he plays Arizona. So just a
Well, I
thought.
just thought of somebody since you mentioned that, and
Yeah, go
a
ahead.
performance. I don't know. Jimmy G. I don't know. I think a lot of people had more high hopes for him, especially when he came in that last game, and everybody was pumped up. And for whatever reason, he steps out of the back of the end zone in this game, just
Oh
makes mental
God.
mistakes and all that kind of stuff. Just not a great showing.
Yeah. Well, since
There was a lot more high hopes for that guy, and he was a waiver wire pickup, and I'm sure people started him.
yeah, I know a lot of people spend a lot of FAAB on him. One of our leagues, I think they spent 100, all 100% FAAB to get him
Blew their load.
because they had, Lance go down, so they needed that quarterback. This is in a super flex league, so QBs are, especially for the year, had to get him. So I think I even put like 35 or something down for him, but yeah, he went for the full 100. I'm gonna just honorable mention Russell Wilson on the other side of the ball there. In that awful display of a game. San Francisco 10 and Denver Broncos 11. My son beat me, so he was happy, of course. AJ, shout out to you, man, and your Broncos for beating me. But yeah, man, he goes only 20 completions, man, for 184 yards, even less than Stafford.
Even
No
less than Stafford, yeah.
touchdowns. So it's just just bad all around in that offense. We thought this was going to be high flying. We thought the AFC West was going to be like sparks, fireworks going off every week. I mean, it's terrible. The Raiders are awful.
terrible.
They're like 0-3. Like the Chiefs just lost, to Indy, 17-20 or whatever it was. So it's just AFC West is kind of crazy right now. So we'll see. All right, so we'll move on here to running backs. Who do you got for some standout running backs this week? Who do you want to highlight?
Well, took some of the guys, but I mean, Damian Pierce had a good showing. I like the guy. I know that I think he's on your show notes as well, Anthony. But 20 for 80,
No, yeah, take it, yeah.
The touchdown, and some catches there. So I really like the future for that guy. I think he's going to be a clear number one. And who else doesn't want that? You just want the guy that's getting all the touches. And I think Houston is not doing so terrible this year, so that he'll actually get those touches instead of just having to throw it down the field and whatnot. So I really liked him.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, they're like the best 0-2-1 team I've ever seen, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's the best 0-2-1 team I've seen. All right, so I'm glad you actually took that one because my backup that I was going to mention was going to be Derrick Henry, man. We finally had a King Henry sighting. 20 carries, 85 yards, which wasn't that far off that week 1 game where he had 21 carries for, I think, 82 yards. But he did get in the end zone this week. But the more important thing was 5 catches on 6 targets for 58 receiving yards. I mean, if you're going to get that type of usage out of Henry, man, now he's, going to forget trading, for JT, man, go trade for Henry. I mean,
which will be hard to do now because he's going to be falling back in love with them.
Now that he went off. Or they might actually be willing to sell him right now
high?
just because he actually had a good game. Not even high, just kind of back to like market value or a little bit less.
Exactly.
But yeah, so definitely we'll talk more about that on the Wednesday show as far as trades and stuff like that. But definitely want to mention we had a King Henry sighting there. Who do you got on the other side as far as some running back duds this week?
Running back duds, Cam Akers. Got a sighting from him. Then he had a fumble in the end zone. What's going on with that guy?
Really? I had Akers actually kind of down as an honorable mention. I had him 12 carries for 61 yards. He did get the touchdown.
He needs way more than that, bro. He needs way more than that.
Well, Henderson only got 4. So he only had 4 carries for 17 when we thought this was going to be like
I
an
just thought
even
it was a
split?
down. It's I guess it's
Okay.
one of his better games because he had 3 for 0 in the first game,
Yeah,
15
that's what
for
I'm saying.
44 in the
Yeah.
second game. So now he gets to 61 yards. He got the touchdown. That's what saved it this game. And also, like I just mentioned, he had a fumble in this game, and he's just not looking like
Did he
himself. Basically, is
fumble?
what I'm trying to
Okay.
get at.
All right.
You know what I mean? I mean,
So you're saying
I
if
know
you
you're
have
happy that he
Akers,
had a
sell
good,
him now,
decent
right?
day, but
Sell
yeah,
him
I
now.
mean, like, yeah, I would say so. Like,
All right.
are you comfortable with him? He's playing San Francisco next.
Yeah. No, get him out of there. All right.
Yeah,
So he's killing my Hendo shares though. We thought Hendo was like the darling of the week last week.
yeah.
So I'm going to mention a couple guys here from the same team actually, dealing with a nasty split. We have Aaron Jones going 12 for 31 and 1 fumble. Speaking of fumbles, only had 3 catches for 11 yards. Then we had AJ Dillon right behind him with the same exact amount of carries, 12 for 32 yards, and gets 2 receptions for only 6 yards. So to me, that's kind of just, especially after Aaron Jones just came off that huge game. I don't know why the Packers continue to do this. They just, for whatever reason, just don't want to give Aaron Jones the ball. Like it almost seems like sometimes, like, I mean, I know there's times where you want to use Aaron Dillon or AJ Dillon, but like if Jones is cooking, man, you got to just, let him cook and get his
Feed.
rhythm coming
Yeah,
off a
you got to
game
feed
like
him.
that. Yeah. And then if you see him start to wear down a little bit, then that's when you have Dillon and you bring him in and,
He'll
kind of
be
work them
fresh
in
and
that
ready to
way.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, or like if those short,
Why is
yardage.
it so easy for us to
I
coach
mean,
these
it
things,
just
right?
seems like it's so simple, like on our side. Like I don't get it. But either way, man, those are some guys that I felt just kind of came up a little short this week, especially after again that big game from Jones last week.
I'm gonna give you a break. He's asking, does
Yeah,
Frank have a Twitter? I do not have Twitter, but we have our own Twitter.
yeah, at Get Right Fantasy.
So that's
But the
where you can
best
hit
way to
us
hit
up
him up is actually on Sleeper for Frank. If you want to DM him in there,
at
at
Fish and
Fish and
Frank.
Frank.
Yeah.
On Sleeper. Check out the description, man. Get in there in the description, scroll all the way down, and you'll see all of our ats, right there, and how to get us there. Pretty sure you're in there, Frank. If he's not, let us
Yeah.
know.
At Fish and Frank should be in there
Fantasy Fish, let us know.
for Sleeper.
All right, for sure. I hope you're kind of looking at some of the chats there and
I
seeing if we
was,
missed
because
anything. But
you were talking about, I was like, there's so
yeah,
much stuff going on. We
you
could get
guys
back to it as
just
soon as
keep
we're
up on it.
done.
Yeah,
We could come back
we
and
might
finish off with
scroll a
some
little bit
questions.
through it,
Yeah.
see if there's anything in there. All right, so we'll go here with the wide receivers. We've kind of mentioned a lot of these guys for me already, so I'm just going to kind of go first on this one. We mentioned Olave, 9 for 147. We mentioned Mac Hollins, 8 for 158 and a touchdown. As far as my kind of duds, I have Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson, man. 2 top 4, receivers, 1 overall receiver, now putting up 2 bad weeks. Justin Jefferson, 3 catches on 6 targets for only 14 yards. And Devontae Adams, 5 catches on 10 targets for only 36 yards. Besides guys like, Mooney and DJ Moore, who everyone's down on. Is there anyone else in there as far as wide receivers you want to highlight or low light, I guess, if you
I
will?
got some guys I want to highlight. I didn't get too many of the low light situations, but Dortch still doing his thing over there in
Greg
Arizona.
Dortch. Let's go.
9 of 10 for 8 yards, but he got a touchdown. And Zane Jones got 10 or 11, 85 and a touchdown over there in Jacksonville. Another guy that I was looking at, and I think we got Matt Collins, tooting his horn quite a bit. So maybe some guys will be looking at him as well.
There it is. And these aren't necessarily guys we're saying, oh, go get or anything like that. Like Ron's saying here, don't buy the hype. He's a bum. He's been a bum since he's on the Dolphins, and it was because the Eagles drafted him, so he just has that hate because he left, and now he's producing with a different team. So I know how that goes, man.
That's how it goes with a lot of
I
guys.
know how that
That's not to
goes.
say that they're a bum. They're just getting to better situations where it helps them, and they
Yeah.
become a better player. Like I've seen a lot of guys get moved, and they were mediocre or shitty players on one team, and next you know they just were able to flourish and bust out another team. I think that
Yeah.
happens all the time, just because it's the right kind of offense that they're in, or coaching or whatever it is. There are a number of things that can pop up, but
Yeah. He's
do you
saying
agree
don't
with
buy the
me?
hype. Yeah, he's saying don't buy the hype. And like we said, man, Hunter Renfro's coming back. They
Yeah.
should figure things out with Devontae Adams. Darren Waller is still there. They don't really throw to the running back, so maybe there's some, targets there that, he could pick up. But for the most part, he's just someone I wanted to highlight for having a good game if you happen to spot start him this week. So, Stranded here says, I'm almost done with Cooks. So Brandon Cooks, he is coming off kind of a bad game this week. I'm still comfortable with him, man, as, I drafted him a lot of places. I was a wide receiver 3, maybe my wide receiver 2. Like, I'm happy with that. We know he's going to have some down weeks. He is still part of the Houston offense, but you hope with the amount of targets and the, progression that this offense is making, the emergence of Dameon Pierce, giving them a legit run game, should open things up for Cooks. And we know it just takes Cooks, sometimes one catch to, blow your fantasy week open. So don't give up on him quite yet. Neanderthal in here says, can I keep Dubs if I picked him up off the wire, Frank, or does he have to be acquired by trade? So we'll talk to you about that offline, because that's specific for our league. But no, typically if we're picking him up off the wire, the short answer is no. Usually you have to draft him or be traded. So you can tell someone to go pick him up and then trade him to you, but it still has to be a fair trade. It can't just be like for nothing. So just be careful with that. We will police it. All right. So anyway, yeah. So tight end. I mean, I don't really want to go over tight end. We mentioned Njoku.
People were sniping me because they knew I was going for it.
Right. So we know Njoku, 9 catches on 10 targets, 89 yards and a touchdown. We mentioned Conklin Herder, 8 for 84. Who do you have as a tight end dud this week?
Oh, dud? I'm telling you, keep asking me about these duds. I didn't do duds.
Oh, okay. My bad. Go the other way. I should have done duds then. Go ahead.
Logan Thomas still doing all right.
David actually had him for a dud. He only had 2 catches for 5 yards.
Yeah, that's what it was. Then maybe that's why I have his name over there.
You did have him as a dud. There you go. Say it. That's your dud.
And then I had David Njoku as the star, 9 of 10 for 89 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he was getting in all kinds of looks over there in Cleveland. I was like, this dude's like a one-man band. So yeah, I like those are the ones that I had.
Yeah.
Or Tyler Conklin standing out. He had a really good, pretty decent game.
Yeah. Watch out for Hawkinson.
For 84 yards.
Yeah. 3 catches for 18 yards for Hawkinson. So maybe just check him out there. Squidward saying, sell high Marquise Brown. We'll leave that as a teaser. Come back and bring that energy on Wednesday when we talk buy, sell, trade. So we'll get into that there for sure. So we just got Ron telling everybody's
definitely hit me up about fishing. Talk fishing all the time.
Yeah, Frank actually has his own YouTube fishing channel.
Yeah.
He has like more subscribers than we have on our Get Right channel on his fishing channel. So go check out Frank's fishing channel over there.
Crazy.
What's it called? Yeah, what's it called?
Refry guy.
Just the refry guy. Yeah. There it is.
Go check it out. Just refry guy, because there is a guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, refry. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Frank's fishing.
YouTube. I do a lot of ocean fishing on a kayak, but I do fresh and salt water too. Fresh and salt.
And I think you have our Hot Ones challenge on that channel too.
Yeah. You want to see Anthony eat some hot wings? Go check that out.
Good
That's
stuff.
hilarious.
Check it out. Yeah. Let us know if you like it. All right, man. So just to recap here, a couple of the waiver wire guys here, and we'll wrap it up tonight. I'm pretty proud of us, man. We stayed pretty close to this hour mark. Let's see if we can get out of here before the hour.
Way better this time. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
This whole thing.
Exactly. I'm just going to run through some guys here on waivers, that we kind of mentioned here throughout the show. So we had Trevor Lawrence. He's 50% owned on Sleeper, 58% on Yahoo. We have Jamal Williams here as one of the hot waiver wire ads. 60% owned in Sleeper, 61% owned in Yahoo. We have Khalil Herbert, another running back that could get some usage this week, or just a good guy to stash. So just be careful if you're spending FAAB on him. He's 48% owned on Sleeper, 49% owned on Yahoo. We do have Romeo Doubs here, 40% owned on Sleeper, 26% owned on Yahoo. I have Russell Gage here on my list. He did have 87 and a touchdown on 12 targets, obviously with no other Tampa Bay wide receiver there. He did have a fumble though, so kind of brought his points down just a bit. But he's only 49% owned on Sleeper and 42% on Yahoo. So if Julio does miss this week, with Gage getting healthier, maybe he's someone who can produce in that wide receiver 3 spot. If Julio is going to kind of be in and out all year, maybe they just turn to Gage for some consistency. So anybody you kind of want to add on that, and then I have like kind of a couple guys to keep your eye on.
I just got some deep sleeper dudes that because you
okay. So we want to go to these deep sleepers now. Go ahead. We might have the same.
I got like Justin Hill with Baltimore. He's going to be Justice Hill. Thank you. Not
It's all
Justin
good.
Hill. Yeah, you're right.
It's all
Justice
good.
Hill.
I got you.
Baltimore, number 2 back. He's definitely going to be the guy instead of Drake and everybody else they got on there, 6 for 60 yards. He's just a stash dude. Not a guy that you need to like run out and pick up if you got room. Something happens with Dobbins or whatever, he'll be the next man up, and he might actually get some touches in between that. The other guy I had was Jalen Warren over there, Pittsburgh. He's another stash. Anything happens with Najee, that dude showed some flashes. I was watching part of the game when he was in there. He's one of those exciting, boom, get it done,
He
guys.
did have a little fumble, but they recovered it. So
yeah, they recovered it. What's who
DJ did.
Deontay, right?
Yeah, Deontay.
Johnson. When you say DJ, I keep thinking
DJ Moore.
Yeah. Don't do that.
next time I'll say Denniston James instead.
So you know what I'm saying. So those are the 2 guys I just wanted to kind of mention. They're deep sleepers. By no means are they go out and grab. But if you have room on your bench or whatnot, those people you should keep an eye on, or maybe just handcuff them. If you got Najee, handcuff type thing to J.K. Dobbins, handcuff that guy.
Absolutely, of course. Madison is a no-brainer. He's most likely not out there. I think he's in the 80% percentage owned.
Yeah, he's pretty much.
But just in case you're in part of that league, that 10%ish or so that is out there, definitely go grab him, especially if you're the Cooks owner. Some other guys I'm kind of keeping my eye on. Ken Walker, he's 72% owned on Sleeper still, kind of high. Obviously, a lot of dynasty leagues on there. 53% owned on Yahoo, which is probably more normal and redraft type roster percentage. But definitely keep an eye on him. Penny didn't do that great. And if he does, of course, get hurt at any moment, just like we're seeing these other running backs fly down, he could just be someone. If you do have one of those empty spots, you have someone in an IR, go grab yourself a Ken Walker if he's out there. Brian Robinson, man, keep your eye on this guy. Remember, he had the starting job in Washington. Gibson, of course, had that good game to start off, kind of trailing off a little bit here. Now all the reports are coming back saying, there's a good shot he plays as soon as week 5 when he comes back off the IR. So to me, it's worth, stashing him now, especially if you have an IR spot, get him in there. Speaking of IR spots, Jamison Williams, man, we're potentially a few weeks away, maybe within a month for his return. He could be out, potentially until November.
He's
but
taken in my league, so
yeah, because I got him. Yeah, I mean he's in my IR spot. He's a potential wide receiver 1. Could help of course with Amon-Ra St. Brown doing his thing over there. He could just definitely add to that offense and make them more potent. And who knows, maybe if Swift is still a little banged up, that could be even more targets for him. As you get closer to the playoffs, or just a nice trade piece. When the hype starts building, you already got him. You could package him with somebody, and you don't even have to take the risk, and you can, get a piece that you can rely on. Also, Michael Gallup. There was rumblings he could potentially play tonight.
Today.
So they ended up not activating him. So maybe he goes through practice. So just keep your eye on the reports. We'll keep you updated on that as well. If he's out there, go get him. This could potentially be the wide receiver 2 here. Doesn't look like Tolbert. Noah Brown looks like he maybe, kind of took hold of those reins, but Michael Gallup is, a lot more explosive player, potentially obviously coming off injury, than I think Noah Brown is. So, if you can, before the hype starts getting up there again, go grab yourself some Michael Gallup and, potentially trade him as he gets closer here, or you have a nice piece, especially with, Dak potentially coming back. Fairly soon, as soon as the Washington game, week 5-ish or so. So we'll see. There's actually a report.
Man. He's not doing so bad. So.
Yeah, 3-0 as a starter apparently for you guys, and not bad. So they said I think someone showed Dak. Dak showed one of the reporters his hand or something. A report came out that said he had the stitches taken out. There's barely any swelling or anything like that going on. So he's actually healing pretty well. They're doing the right things. He's taking care of it to not have any extra swelling. So they're, realistically trying to get him back on the field by week 5. So, I mean, if Rush keeps playing like he is, with the schedule they have, I don't think they, no pun intended, rush him back. So, anyway, we'll go on with that. There was a couple things I wanted to get to here.
I want to mention one last guy.
Oh, go ahead, man.
We were a tight end, Cameron Brate over there in Tampa Bay. He finally got 5 of 6, 52 yards. And he's getting more and more involved in the offense over there. Maybe it's because the other guys are hurt. But I think that Brady has always liked his tight ends, and I think he's just kind of working up more and more rapport with them. So, if you could stash him, throw it in there.
Yeah. And I'll go here where we kind of left off on the chat. Tony said, oh, by the way, he ended up finishing 6th in the poker tournament, ended up getting 93K. He's out there playing in the World Series. He finished 3rd last year, I believe he said, or maybe the year before, and won 1.6. So I told him we are looking for an investor here for Get Right if he ever wants to get involved.
Nice.
Help us expand.
Dude, I want to sit down and play poker with them.
I know, right? That would be a lot of fun. We'll have to get together, play on like Ultimate Better. Oh, not Ultimate.
Oh, there's
Better.
there's one I'll tell you offline about
Global Poker or whatever it is. Anyway, all right. So that's that. Fantasy Fish was saying, hey, he's going to check out your channel, your fishing channel. He says he fishes for bass out of a kayak, and when he fishes San Diego when he's in Cali. So San Diego is not too far from me. A little bit of a ways from Frank.
Yeah, I'm in NorCal.
Yeah, he's in NorCal. He fishes out of the bay up there. So yeah, man. So that's good stuff. So anyone else we got in here? OBJ is awesome. Love the name. Should I trade Kamara for Keenan Allen, Devin Singletary, and Chase Edmonds? Yes.
Yeah. If you're getting all those 3 guys, yes.
Wait, no. God, that's a tough one.
That is really tough. Just had a decent game, but Keenan Allen's who I'm looking at. He's going to be better. He's going to be coming back from injury.
Should be good. Yeah, I mean, I think Keenan Allen makes it worth it.
Doing things in Miami.
Oh, that's
not a lot of things, but for 3 guys, why not?
Yeah, it's tough for 3 guys. I mean, if you're really hurting for depth, if not, I'd rather try to trade Kamara for a different piece if you can. I'm gonna actually say no to that, man. I'd rather keep Kamara. It's a good offer though. I mean, it's I'd right there. Yeah, that's tough.
I would take it. He's always played bad over there with Winston. It wasn't like when Breeze was there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it seemed like what I mean. Just wasn't.
Yeah, there is that too. Yeah, he's not just getting funneled those targets like 10 targets a game. Anyway, we got Cole Pearson here saying, should I trade Henry and Schultz for Swift and Goddard? I'd rather keep the Henry and Schultz side. I'd rather have the more healthy running back at the time. Again, especially if they're going to be using Henry in the passing game, 5, on 6 targets. So, Schultz will get healthier. He might be out another week or 2. I'd go that way. I know a lot of other people would probably go Swift and Goddard, though. I'd rather have Henry and Schultz.
No, I'd rather have Henry and Schultz. Henry's getting into his stride again now. After this game, I feel way more comfortable saying that. Before, it would have been a thought. You know what I mean, right?
Wow. And this shocks me right here because usually Ron and I don't really see eye to eye when it comes to this stuff, but he says he's the biggest Goddard fan you will ever find, and he would not trade Henry away. So I feel a little validated there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Henry and Schultz. Keep that, guys. He said, yeah. So Jamison Williams too.
Yeah, don't forget about you're doing it. Yeah, Drink's a good word. Yeah, we're doing it. All right, man. So hold on, we got a couple new people in here. We got Quinn Lindardi, 10-man PPR. See, I love this when they set the question up properly, so we can give you a really good answer. We're not wondering some of these other details. It says 10-man PPR starting lineup is Stafford, JT, Javonte, Keenan Allen, DJ, Waddle, and Schultz. I have Dobbins, Conklin, and Josh Palmer on the bench. What's your advice? So Stafford, JT. So basically, you want to try to get a better quarterback right now. Like that's what I would be looking to upgrade. Yeah. Maybe if Dobbins has a good game, you can maybe sell off, Dobbins and maybe Stafford if Stafford starts to play a little well again. I mean, I don't know who's going to give you one of those top 5 guys right now. You're going to have to really pry them, out of their hands. It might do too much, but I'd be looking to, try to get some more consistency out of that QB position. Obviously, JT, Javonte, you've been hurt by Keenan Allen a little bit. Deontay and Waddle, I'm sure, have been doing fine. You're hurt with Schultz, but you've had, Conklin in there.
So you could switch him out, yeah.
Palmer with Guyton tearing his ACL, should definitely be seeing that 3 wide receiver, look. And let alone, if Allen or Williams misses time, he's shown he can handle that workload. So I think you're set up, okay there. And, again, maybe just kind of package that Dobbins Palmer or maybe like Dobbins and Keenan Allen
He's
try
in
to
a
get
10
like
man. He's
another
got to
wide
be able to
receiver.
get somebody off the waiver wire.
Yeah, there's going to be other people, but you have to have kind of that star power to kind of compete. So I'd like to know who's available on the
Waiver wire,
waivers
right?
there. Yeah,
For 10 man, dude, you got to
for
have somebody.
quarterback. Yeah. All right. So I don't know if you've been going through those anymore, but of course the chat's been helping everybody out in there as well. So we appreciate that. Let's see. Is there anything else in here? We're gonna call it a night. I want to make sure.
Good.
Oh yeah, here we go. Shout out to FFT AJ with the fantasy frontline. How about them Cowboys? So big Cowboys fan there gets the W over the G-Men tonight. So shout out to AJ in the house. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like button for me. Really help us out. So we appreciate that. Ooh, excuse me.
Coach Squidward said, "Keep Kamara. He's bouncing back. His bounce back is coming." I'm not so certain. I love Kamara, but
Yeah, he's your
Winston's
boy.
not his guy. Winston's
He's
not
your
his
boy.
guy, though. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of stayed away from him this year. And I was like, no.
That's it. All right, man. So that's gonna be it for tonight, man. We're gonna shut this thing down. Keep it at an hour 30. You might have to take us out, dude. I got the hiccups.
Well, thanks for watching us, guys. We appreciate the love. Please like and subscribe for myself, Anthony, Dustin, and Classic Mike that was at the game tonight. We appreciate you guys watching. And on that note, we're going to roll out the credits. And we'll be back, Tuesday? When are we coming back? Wednesday?
Wednesday roster